I'm really thrilled to be here with you guys today, and thanks so much to Chris and Tim and Erica for the invitation, but also putting together this fantastic day for you guys. I honestly would have killed for something like this when I was a graduate student or a postdoc. So I think times have changed, and I think that we're really opening up your minds, hopefully, to all the career possibilities out there, and I'm learning a lot from our other speakers, so this is really fantastic. So I wanted to start by talking about my career path, because I think it's a little bit unique. I think that's probably a common theme for all of us. But I wanted to walk you through sort of how I got here. So what I have there at the start is I received my bachelor's degree in chemistry from a small liberal arts college in Ohio. And I have a picture of my dad up there in his cute hat, actually. That was my dad was really monumental to my career path, actually, because when I was a junior in college, I had been thinking of med school, and I was preparing to take the MCAT, and never thought about research as a career, actually. And then my dad got brain cancer that year. He was only 48. He developed glioblastoma multiforme, which is the most aggressive kind of brain cancer there is. He lived 2 weeks after his diagnosis. And, that event really shaped who I became and, of course, who I am. But hopefully what you'll see is that motivation to undertake a career in cancer research today is still something that motivates really everything I do. So it really, I remember going to my advisor and saying, okay, now what? I don't think I can go to medical school and be a doctor. I think cancer research would be cool. I have no idea what that is, and I really had no clue. Thankfully, my advisor had some contacts at Vanderbilt University and helped me prepare for application there, and amazingly, I got in without research experience, which today obviously wouldn't happen, but it did then. So I got my Ph.D. in cell biology. I was doing a basic cancer research, cancer biology project, studying some of the molecular events that occur in colorectal cancer. From there, I went and met Chris and worked in a lab at the University of Cincinnati in the molecular genetics department. And there I sort of furthered my interest in the sort of basic mechanisms of tumor formation and tumor progression, and was studying a signaling pathway in a tumor suppressor that is important in colon cancer, but then I continued to look at its role in breast cancer. When I was a postdoc, I had no clue what I wanted to do. And in fact, I remember thinking when things were going poorly in the lab, that academic research really wasn't for me. And I started to sort of think about other things, but I told you the opportunities to explore other careers really weren't there. And then the science kind of turned around for me, and I was a little bit more productive and got some good papers. And then, quite frankly, a faculty position landed in my lap. I know that doesn't happen to virtually anyone, but I was really fortunate to be in the right place at the right time. And so I started my independent research lab, staying at the University of Cincinnati, but moving to another department. So I was there for a few years, and then my department chair got recruited to the University of Chicago. And he said, "Do you want to go?" And I said, "Yes, my bags are packed. Let's go." And I really was excited about going somewhere new. But the truth is, going somewhere new, Chicago was great, but I also was looking forward to being in a research environment, a place that had a comprehensive cancer center where the infrastructure and resources are much more plentiful and really can help support a young investigator. And so that was a great transition for me. I started over my tenure clock. University of Chicago has very rigorous criteria for tenure, and so I thought I needed that extra time. Well, that extra time actually didn't help me all that much because fast forward about 6 years later, and I was facing having to go up for promotion and tenure, but I had really struggled getting my grants and my publications sort of in sync. I got grants early and struggled with those first publications, and then I got publications and couldn't get grants funded, and so I hit sort of a wall. Well, it turns out that sometimes when doors close, other doors open. And I want to say that some of the things that I loved about my academic life was teaching and also some of the work that I had done on the side in advocacy and volunteering primarily for the American Cancer Society. I had been funded by them for many years, and so I had been doing more and more outreach and advocacy events with them, and really found a passion. And so now I've been a volunteer for more than 15 years, and it's something I really love. So at that sort of turning point of saying, okay, my chair and section chief were like, we really don't think you're going to make it if we put you up for promotion. And at our institution, it's up or out. And so they gave me the option to not go up for promotion. And that sounds crazy that you would take that option, but I did because I wanted to be able to stay at the institution if there was something there for me. And luckily there was. One of the first people I went to talk to for advice was our Cancer Center director, Dr. Michelle LeBeau. And it turns out a couple months after I talked to her, she called me up and said, hey, if you haven't found anything, I think I have the perfect job for you. And she was absolutely right. So let me tell you about what that job is. So I work in our Comprehensive Cancer Center, and I'd like to say it's, I'm the jack of all trades, master of nothing, right? I kind of do it all. And here's a list of a few things that I do, but I would say a significant percentage of my effort goes towards science communications. A lot of my job is about promoting the research that goes on at our institution in cancer and really building the reputation of all of our faculty. I also have been really fortunate to take my love of teaching into developing cancer education programming. And that has been really exciting. We've started 2 new programs for high school and college students around cancer research. And yesterday we got a training grant funded, which, yay, super excited. I also, a big part of my effort, and this ties into my work as a volunteer, as I mentioned, with the American Cancer Society and other cancer organizations and my advocacy work, a major responsibility of mine is to manage and strengthen our partnerships with people who fund our research, but also organizations that have a shared mission with us, and that includes donors and legislators. And then I also help, I still do grant writing, but it's not about my science. It's for our Cancer Center Support Grant through the NCI. And some other things. A big part of what I do is facilitate interactions among Cancer Center faculty to make their careers more successful and their research more successful, and again, some career development activities. So what are some of the challenges and opportunities? It was a big transition for me, and I'm happy to talk more about this in our breakout sessions, but I think both from a challenge and opportunity standpoint, I love the fact that I talk about my science, our science, to a variety of audiences and stakeholders. I think that's a lot of fun. As you saw from that list, I do a lot of different things, so it's never the same thing every day. So that keeps it really exciting. I think I've sacrificed that depth of knowledge in my own scientific area with a huge increase in my breadth of knowledge in cancer research in general. And that's been really fun for me. I think I really was so focused on my own work that I had no clue of all the really exciting science that was going on outside of it. I really feared not being able to make an impact in my science as I made this transition, but it has been surpassed in my ability to make an impact on people, and that has been really, really fun for me. And I have to tell you, and this probably sounds obvious, I mean, I didn't get put up for tenure, right? That's it's hard to say, okay, I failed in this path. But the truth is, I have a much better quality of life now, and my job satisfaction is like through the roof. And it's not that I regret being a PI at any moment, but life is pretty good. So I can't complain about that. And I wasn't trained to do a lot of the things that I'm doing in a very formal way, but so I've had to learn on the job. But one of the exciting things is I've been able to play to my strengths, which is, communication, bringing people together, and of course, the science. So I'm going to end this with just a few tidbits of advice. I think that at least my career path has demonstrated. One thing was just being open and prepared for any opportunity that came my way. And that may mean change, which is scary, but I think it also is really exhilarating. And I told you the story about my dad and my passion for making an impact on this deadly disease. That's been my driving force. I would always encourage you to find whatever that passion is that you have and cultivate it. Whatever it is, listen to that voice in your head, something that really gets you excited, stick with it. Identify those strengths that you have and play to them. Work smart, not just hard. We all are at this point because we're hard workers, but you have to think about how you spend your energy and make sure that it's something that you think is worthwhile. Something I didn't always do very well is ask for advice and help when you need it. But the key is people think they know what's best for you. Sometimes they actually don't. So you can be selective about what advice you follow, actually. And then I think making your career fit your life rather than the other way around is something that I've seen now in hindsight. As I said, I have a better quality of life. Relationships matter. This is all about networking, and it's so important. So you have to actually take the time and effort to nurture those relationships. And then finally, being selfish with your time, energy, and work. I know sometimes that's hard for people. That's always been very hard for me. But I think you do have to be your own advocate. Of course, not to the detriment of other people, but you do have to look out for yourself. So thank you so much for your attention, and enjoy your day.